Inside Rimuru's consciousness, Veldora the Storm Dragon and Ifrit the Spirit observe the outside world through their unique connection. The observation begins with an ominous declaration that someone might not be here much longer, prompting immediate concern. The response comes with shock, questioning if this dire prediction is truly serious. Despite the gravity, there's acknowledgement that these have been good times, that so much has happened between them all. The conversation shifts as someone proclaims that this despair will transform into something powerful, into a wind that carries change, into a out with absolute conviction. No matter what, I'm going to save you. The declaration carries the weight of someone willing to sacrifice everything for those they love. The scene concludes with an invitation to join hands together, a call for unity in the face of approaching darkness. Veldora and Ifrit remain silent observers, sensing that something significant is about to unfold that will test everyone involved and challenge everything they believe about themselves and the world around them. The discussion takes a curious turn as they examine something that catches their attention, an object that appears to hold significance though its true nature remains uncertain. One suggests that perhaps the item only looks similar to something else, that the resemblance might be coincidental. However, the history cannot be ignored. It was handed down from the legendary hero to Shizu, then from Rimuru to Chloe, creating a chain of connection across time. The question arises whether there could be some deeper connection between these individuals, some thread of fate binding them through this artifact. The response is dismissive, a quick rejection that there could be any meaningful relationship. Veldora catches himself overthinking the situation, recognizing that sometimes coincidence is just coincidence. His thoughts drift to simpler times as he reflects. Back then, we truly believed that more fun times were waiting for Lord Rimuru once he returned to the nation of monsters. Everyone shared these same carefree thoughts, this naive assumption that their peaceful existence would continue uninterrupted. They had no idea what darkness was approaching their beloved home, what tragedy fate had already set in motion that would shatter their innocence forever. The tone shifts dramatically as Veldora and Ifrit witness a formidable new threat. Shizu's disciple Hinata Sakaguchi emerges as an opponent unlike any Rimuru has faced, her presence immediately altering combat dynamics. She has deployed a wide-range barrier encompassing the battlefield, and the effects are catastrophic. All magic tools within have been purged, stripped of power and rendered useless, leaving Rimuru unable to make full use of his strength. Veldora observes with growing concern that nothing Rimuru says penetrates this woman's resolve, that no reasoning can reach her through whatever conviction drives her actions. She stands as a stubborn opponent, immovable in her determination, her mind already made up about Rimuru's guilt. Veldora expresses genuine disbelief at how much Lord Rimuru struggles in this fight, shocked to see someone he considers powerful having such difficulty against a single human. The possibility becomes real that Rimuru might actually lose this confrontation. Ifrit panics, questioning what happens to them if Lord Rimuru dies. Veldora quickly calms him. All we need to do is keep an eye on Rimuru and have faith in him. I'm certain he has an idea. The battle reaches its climax as Hinata unleashes her ultimate technique. Disintegration! For a moment, it appears the fight is over. But then Veldora's confidence proves justified as he declares, "That's my Rimuru." His friend had prepared a body double well in advance, hiding his real body while the doll finger engaged in dangerous fighting. Veldora praises this clever though risky gamble. At last, Rimuru can finally go home, but something seems amiss as they observe further. The view shifts to reveal devastating change. Tempest, the nation Rimuru worked so hard to build, has been dramatically transformed in his absence. The peaceful community that welcomed all races now faces existential threat. Humans consumed by greed have invaded the monster nation, bringing violence to a place that offered nothing but friendship. Veldora comments bitterly, "What a troublesome act by the very species he tried to befriend. Rimuru still insists on trying to live side by side with them." Veldora observes that Rimuru appears to be attempting to abide by human rules himself, to conduct himself according to their laws even when they have violated every principle of honor. The observation continues as Veldora to avert his own eyes from grief by explaining Shion's death as simply nature's way. His thoughts turn to the past. Long ago, when Shizu was young, he killed her friend Perino when his sense of self was still faint. It was an awful sin he committed, the main reason he and Shizu were never able to connect mentally. Shizu considered his sin her own, and her need to atone broke her heart. He realizes that death should never be taken lightly. Desperation drives Veldora to action as he suddenly commands attention, his voice urgent. He tells them to listen carefully because he knows something that might change everything. The odds are slim, maybe basically zero, but Veldora knows a fairy tale that speaks specifically about bringing the dead back to life, about reversing what should be irreversible. Ifrit immediately recognizes the significance. If such a thing were actually possible, if the dead could truly be brought back to life, it would change everything. Veldora launches into the tale. It involves a girl and her pet dragon. The girl was the daughter of a human and a dragon, a hybrid being raised with the title of Dragon Princess. One day, her father, himself a dragon of great age, made a double of himself in the form of a baby dragon so the girl would have a friend. Ifrit recognizes the story immediately, confirming this is the tale of the Dragon Princess, the legend of Milim. The crucial connection becomes clear to Veldora. He suggests with growing excitement that the barrier erected in Tempest could potentially be keeping their souls from escaping the physical realm, trapping them between life and death where intervention might still be possible. The probability is calculated at exactly 3.14%. But Veldora seizes on this slim hope. That's plenty. He celebrates as he observes Rimuru reaching the same conclusion independently, watching as his friend's fighting spirit reignites with newfound purpose. Rimuru is preparing to take the lives of 10,000 humans in a ritual of blood. By bearing that enormous sin, Rimuru will become a new demon lord. Veldora makes a declaration. You are not in this alone. I, Veldora, will bear that sin along with you. The army that invaded Tempest now faces justice as Veldora and Ifrit observe the beginning of Rimuru's retaliation. These are the soldiers who killed Shion and the others, who brought death to a peaceful nation. Rimuru's determination crystallizes into affirmation. The counterattack begins as the air trembles in response to Rimuru's anger, the atmosphere becoming thick with killing intent and supernatural rage. The fury that Rimuru's friends feel is also intense beyond measure. These are normally such peaceful creatures, monsters who lived contentedly alongside others. But now their eyes have taken on new color, a shade that speaks of determination and righteous fury. Before battle, Rimuru spoke with Benimaru about what to do should he lose control after evolution, requesting that whoever can still fight should eliminate him if he becomes a threat. Such a cruel request to make of a loyal friend. Veldora admits he could never agree to such a thing. Ifrit agrees completely, acknowledging that perhaps they could have in the past, but it would be hard for them nowadays. Neither could command an army of monsters, and certainly neither could stop someone as powerful as Lord Rimuru if he truly lost control. But Veldora understands something important. Rimuru does not make impossible requests of his friends. Every task he assigns is something he genuinely believes they are capable of accomplishing. It must mean he truly trusts Benimaru with this responsibility. Veldora admits he may even be jealous. Then again, Rimuru would never do anything to make his friends sad or put them in impossible situations. As such, Veldora expresses certainty that Rimuru will successfully awaken as a demon lord without losing himself to madness. They must have faith in Rimuru's strength of character and will. Veldora watches with a mixture of awe and horror as the kind, gentle Rimuru they have known, the being who so deeply hated to hurt anyone, now kills his enemy soldiers without the slightest reluctance or hesitation. He has chosen the optimal method for killing them efficiently, calculated the most effective approach to ending their lives, and is proceeding to carry it out with no apparent emotional conflict or moral doubt. Veldora observes as Rimuru commands soldiers to die with cold finality, calling upon the wrath of the gods to pierce them. This clinical efficiency, this complete absence of the compassion that usually defines Rimuru, is profoundly unsettling to witness. Veldora admits with complete honesty. To be honest with you, I can't help but shudder at this resolve. Ifrit agrees emphatically, noting that it certainly doesn't pay to anger those who are normally mild-mannered and peaceful. When someone who genuinely values peace is finally pushed beyond their breaking point, the resulting fury is often more terrible than anything a naturally aggressive person might produce. The sacred texts contain many verses to that effect. However, something unexpected catches VELDORA'S attention. Rimuru is not killing King Edmaris of Falmouth, the ruler whose greed set this tragedy in motion. Despite having the opportunity and arguably the justification, Rimuru exercises restraint. VELDORA admits that if it were him, he wouldn't concern himself with talking. He would simply kill everyone on the spot without discrimination. But Ifrit offers insight. If the ruler of Falmouth were assassinated, his entire army would be mobilized to defend the land's honor. The Western Holy Church wouldn't take it lying down either. By exercising restraint, Lord Rimuru is ensuring the war doesn't drag out longer than necessary. VELDORA acknowledges this wise observation. Still, even if he doesn't kill him, VELDORA doubts he'll show the king mercy. Personally, he would have devoured him. Rimuru's patience is quite impressive, but was sparing the king really the right choice? The atmosphere shifts as something changes in Rimuru's physical state, signaling that the critical transformation may be beginning. The evolution into a demon lord appears to have commenced as Rimuru starts acting strange, his movements becoming uncoordinated. He seems to be swaying a bit, his body struggling to maintain balance as unprecedented changes occur within. VELDORA admits he doesn't know from personal experience what this process feels like, but he imagines it's not easy evolving into a demon lord. Then something else appears that immediately captures VELDORA's full attention. He exclaims with recognition and alarm. Oh my! That's an Archdemon! Ifrit questions this identification, uncertain about what he's seeing. But VELDORA confirms there's absolutely no doubt. What's more concerning is that this Archdemon is no newborn chick. This is a dangerous individual who has been alive for a very long time. Ifrit expresses shock. VELDORA notes that even though Ifrit is a superior spirit who reigns at a level higher than demons in the natural hierarchy, Ifrit cannot see how powerful this being truly is. Ifrit admits this is correct. In his eyes, the Archdemon appears to be no more than a greater demon. VELDORA seizes on this as proof of exactly how perfect this Archdemon's disguise really is. On top of that impossibly perfect disguise, this Archdemon appeared before Rimuru without even being summoned through any ritual. He simply manifested of his own will. VELDORA wonders whether this being has lived even longer than himself, though he quickly rejects the possibility. Time passes within the sealed space. VELDORA breaks the silence with a complaint. I'm so bored. Ifrit questions this response, pointing out that this is an unprecedented moment of incredible tension. VELDORA defends himself, insisting he's only being honest. Since Rimuru has fallen into the sleep of evolution, they cannot see what's happening in the outside world anymore. Without that window, VELDORA is so bored he doesn't know what to do. But then an idea strikes. Playing around with analysis would do him good. He's sure Rimuru will be extremely busy after becoming a demon lord. VELDORA needs to break free of unlimited imprisonment as quickly as possible to assist him. He announces his intention to keep analyzing the prison structure. Ifrit encourages him with genuine warmth. Then something extraordinary happens. Ifrit asks what's the matter as he notices VELDORA's sudden change. VELDORA responds that something is very strange. The analysis is suddenly moving at unprecedented speed, accelerating beyond anything he's experienced. Power wells up within him in massive quantities. The analysis speed increases several times faster than normal, then dozens of times, maybe 100 times. No, VELDORA corrects himself, the analysis is moving many hundreds of times faster than before, reaching speeds that should be impossible. Ifrit asks exactly how much the power has increased. VELDORA calculates carefully, estimating approximately 345 times his previous capacity. Ifrit's shocked response is exactly what VELDORA expected. Ifrit asks how Lord VELDORA can remain so calm. VELDORA explains that if he continues to analyze unlimited imprisonment at this incredible pace, he'll be free in no time. Ifrit asks if Veldora has any idea why this is happening. Veldora explains his theory. In the process of becoming a true demon lord, the calculation ability of Rimuru's skills must have substantially increased. Veldora's skills have improved along with Rimuru's because of their unique connection. Ifrit expresses relief, admitting he thought this might be Veldora's life emitting its last flickers before dying. Veldora tells him not to say such scary things. Then Ifrit draws attention to something new. Rimuru's evolution into a demon lord is finally complete. Veldora asks what's happening as he observes strange phenomena. The explanation comes quickly. This is the gift, the bestowal of power that occurs when one ascends to become a demon lord. Gifts are bestowed upon all monsters who share connection with the newly awakened being. Veldora acknowledges understanding. Then something shocking occurs. Ifrit calls out in alarm, asking why this particular thing is happening. Could it be that the one they thought to be Lord Rimuru all this time is actually something else, a proxy rather than the original? Veldora quickly claims he already knew this, that he could tell from the start that Rimuru's skills were special. He always knew Rimuru had a proxy. Ifrit praises him for being brilliant. But then Ifrit catches something in Veldora's expression and calls him out. There's no way Veldora actually knew this, because otherwise he would have that overly smug look on his face like usual. The observation shifts as they notice Ifrit and Shion and the others awakening from death. But then a new presence makes itself known, and the atmosphere becomes oppressive. Veldora recognizes the speaker as Lord Raphael. His instincts scream that he must not defy this particular being. Ifrit responds with utmost politeness, stating that whatever commands are given, he is more than willing to obey. Raphael responds with clinical precision. This individual of the Ifrit race has no name and possesses only a meager ego, lacking the essential basis required to acquire skills properly. Raphael recommends that training be resumed immediately. Ifrit agrees enthusiastically, declaring he shall become a dedicated training beast. Raphael cuts off Veldora's protest. Raphael is now convinced that the individual Veldora has been slacking off. Now then, Raphael commands him to acquire an ultimate skill immediately. Veldora protests weakly that this is a tall order. But Raphael states it is possible. Raphael has forced Veldora's calculation domain to expand exponentially. Therefore, Veldora can now use his enhanced strength to maintain this expanded domain and perform the analytical work on Unlimited Imprisonment. Veldora realizes this isn't an optional request but an outright demand. Veldora throws himself into the work, and after what feels like both an eternity and an instant, he announces great news. Through his efforts, he has successfully acquired the ultimate skill known as Faust. He questions whether this achievement is because of the gift from Rimuru, expressing genuine gratitude. Ifrit notes with relief that now Lord Raphael won't be angry. Veldora agrees, then notices Ifrit looks significantly more muscular now. Ifrit insists he still has a long way to go, that he will continue to train until his body fat percentage is less than 10%. When asked if he acquired an ultimate skill, Veldora confirms. Raphael declares they will break through Unlimited Imprisonment right away. Ifrit congratulates him on getting to go outside. But Veldora cautions against getting ahead of themselves. His mind turns to what he should say to Rimuru once revived. Naturally, his first instinct is to start with boasting. But then a mischievous idea occurs. He shouldn't let on that he knows what's been happening in the outside world. Ifrit agrees this could be fun. It would also be entertaining to pretend he's acquiring Faust right in front of Rimuru. Then Rimuru will shower him with praise from the bottom of his heart. It will be glorious. But then Ifrit interrupts with words that carry unexpected weight. He asks Lord Veldora to forgive him if this is presumptuous. But if Veldora wishes to stand by Lord Rimuru's side as his true friend, he must remember that Rimuru will be blamed for any actions Veldora performs. Ifrit asks whether Veldora is familiar with the phrase, unwanted favor, explaining that something you did as a favor might actually be unwanted by the recipient. In Veldora's case, since he has so much power, he should always consult with his companions before doing anything. Ifrit asks if Veldora wants Lord Rimuru to hate him. Veldora quickly responds that he would find such an outcome intolerable. Ifrit extracts a promise. Veldora must act with caution, prudence, and care at all times. Veldora gives his word. But then Veldora says he has another promise to make, this one for Ifrit. He declares that one day, no matter what it takes, he shall free Ifrit from this sealed space. Ifrit responds with genuine emotion, stating he will be counting down the days. Veldora tells him that just like his dear friend Rimuru, he always keeps his promises. He asks if he can still count on Ifrit's support. Ifrit confirms absolutely. When the time comes, they shall play shogi together again, and Ifrit warns he won't go easy. Veldora responds that this is perfect. The scene shifts dramatically as Veldora finds himself in a familiar location that brings back a flood of memories. This place, this sealed cavern where he spent so much time before Rimuru found him, carries profound significance. He reflects on how 2 years have already passed somehow, time moving in strange ways when one exists partially outside normal reality. Raphael's voice cuts through his nostalgia with an important announcement. Appraisal of Unlimited Imprisonment is now complete. Every aspect of the prison structure has been analyzed, every weakness identified, every mechanism understood. Veldora realizes he can finally fulfill his promise to free Ifrit, and beyond that, he can free himself after decades of captivity. He declares his intention to set them both free now. Raphael acknowledges and immediately begins activating Enhanced Body Double, creating a physical form that Veldora can inhabit outside the seal. The sensation of having a physical body again is strange and wonderful. Veldora notices immediately that something feels different about his proportions. He questions whether he's actually taller than before. As the process completes, Veldora takes stock of his new appearance. He observes with satisfaction that yes, he definitely matured a bit. If Veldora does say so himself, he's kind of a hottie now. But he catches himself indulging in vanity and refocuses. He clears his throat, reminding himself of the task at hand. The moment of truth approaches as Veldora prepares to break free. He internally pleads for this to work. Raphael provides confirmation that makes Veldora's heart soar. Soul corridor between Master and the individual named Veldora has been confirmed. Both celebrate this success simultaneously. The culmination of everything arrives as Veldora stands fully formed and freed for the first time in decades.